CollaborationRoom.ai's virtual floor platform allows contact centers to stop just surviving remote and start thriving in remote. Your leaders can manage, train, and support your remote and hybrid agents just like they were sitting next to each other. When needed, embedded AI features ensure data security and compliance just like the actual floor. Collaboration Room helps you make remote work. Jason, Hiland, thank you so much for being a part of being here and being a part of AI Demo Day. I will let you take it from here.
Easy for you to say, Mike. Thank you for having me, my friend. Thank you for having me. All right, let me get this shared. Last time I forgot to share and I just took off running. So we're going to get this right this time. So let me switch over. Are you seeing a PowerPoint in front of you, Mike, with your logo in the bottom left?
I am, yes. Best PowerPoint I've seen all day.
I bet, my friend. Hi, everybody. My name is Jason Hiland. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer over here at Collaboration Room. And what we're doing here at Collaboration Room is helping you make remote work. As Mike said, many of you guys have survived remote since the pandemic. But if you're being honest with yourself, you'd probably say you haven't thrived in remote. And one of the main reasons for that is most people that we talk to that aren't using Collaboration Room are using virtual meeting platforms, and they have never, nor will they probably ever, create specific features directly for the contact center environment. That's what we're here for. Now, we have clients using us in all of these platforms. We're designed for remote, but we also have people using us on the floor, hybrid remote, multiple offices, and even to manage their third-party offshore and nearshore partners, just like they were their own agents. And these are the challenges we help people face. Now, we don't have a lot of competitors, and with our patent that I'm going to show you, it's even fewer. No one can do it exactly the way we do it, but most people start right down in here at security and compliance as the foundation of their remote technology. Well, most of our competitors do. And we're not saying that's not important. I'll show you why we think it's important, but we took a different tack. We started up here with supervisor and agent trainer to agent engagement and training, coaching, and supporting the agents, because if you start here as the foundation, you're still going to need tools for all of this. What we did is we started here with our foundation, and if you get this right in remote and hybrid work, you're already working on this. And then we just had to crowdsource our roughly 100 customers from 18 different countries across the globe and ask them what they needed to make these areas a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to a video, and I'm going to walk you through a demonstration of Collaboration Room. Two really quick things first. Number one, you're going to see a lot of video and monitors on our platform for end user privacy and for data security of the data of your consumer data on those monitors. We do not record anything. It is all live streaming, but we have a robust reporting package in the background to let you know what actions we saw on the platform. So we're an InfoSec stream. We don't touch your data. Second, our platform is based on rooms. I'm going to start you in a supervisor room. Now, in a supervisor room, a lot of things happen: training, nesting, and production. And I'll show it to you from the supervisor/trainer's perspective and then the agent's perspective. And then I'll show you the meeting and training rooms. So let's get started in a supervisor room. This could be production, training, or nesting. From this supervisor's perspective, he's just going to send out a quick message to everybody in the room saying, hey, everyone, end of month, let's get going. And then let me hit pause here and give you a quick lay of the land. So what are you looking at here? Typically, every supervisor is in a room with their team. I've got 5 agents up here, but you can actually have up to 15 agents on this screen. And if you had 30 agents in this room, you would have 2 pages. But you have everybody over on your participants tab, and you can pop this out, move it all around, elongate it, so that you can see everybody's name and some of the changes that will happen to them, whether you're looking at them at that moment or not. Here's the supervisor and or trainer. Now up here is where we're different than Teams, Zoom, or really anybody else in the world. Like right now, I believe we're on Zoom, and we can all stream multiple videos if we wanted to, but only one person, and that's me right now, can share their monitor. Helpful in presentations like this, not helpful when you're trying to manage a virtual floor. So not only are we streaming this video, but here I have 2, but you can have up to 3 monitors of the agent streaming simultaneously. So it's almost like this supervisor or trainer standing right next to this agent. I can see their face, I can see their monitors, and I'll show you if they hit the observe functionality, you can actually listen to their calls. Now, this view right here has thus far helped us save 6 agents' lives that have been reported to us. And those 6 reports only came from 2 of our 100 customers. So here's the thing with that. The AI that you'll see over here that changes colors based on facial expressions was able to notify a supervisor or a manager that something didn't look right. We've had 2 heart attacks, 2 strokes, 1 anaphylactic shock, and 1 we're not sure of. So we didn't build for that, but it's still our proudest achievement. So I'll show you how we can listen to it. So let's just say over here, we see Samir, who's also our CEO. He's in green with a smiley face. That's the optional AI emotion notification. We're just looking at the facial expressions. And as you can see, Samir's smiling. He looks like everything's okay, but if I look down the row here, I see VG looks like he's having some trouble. He's a little bit distraught. So I can come over to my tools, click on observe, listen to that call while watching him work, and I can hit this swap camera stream to rotate through what my main view is, monitor 1, monitor 2, or the video. And so I click on observe, I'm listening to the call, I can double tap on any monitor, make it a full screen view so I can see exactly what's going on. I can also double click on any of the videos. Maybe I'm having a conversation with him and I want to see him a little bit better. I'm coaching him and I've supported him and now I'm going to move on. Over here in your participants tab, you're going to see their internet connectivity. And this little number 1 here that'll change, I'll show you what that is when we get to the security and compliance side of things. Now let's go into some coaching. So Samir has raised his hand, Ken raised their hand, they need a little help, maybe they're in production or in nesting. So the supervisor or trainer is just going to say, hey, place that call on hold. Once that call is placed on hold, it opens up the line for either one of them to initiate a private call through Collaboration Room. Now this supervisor or trainer can coach Samir through exactly what he needs to do so he can get off this call and back on that dialer call with that consumer for a single call resolution. Here's a little privacy and camera settings. As you see, Anurag went on break, his camera systematically turned off. And then when they come off break, their camera can come right back on. There's different settings for this. But one thing we didn't do was stop the monitor, and here's why. If you can still see that monitor when they're on break or lunch and the assumption is they're not there, that means they didn't lock that monitor. Right now, you can just have a conversation with them. But here in about a month, that supervisor in that bottom left-hand corner will be able to hit a button that tells that agent's computer to go to sleep remotely so that data stays safe. Mike, can you give me a heads up when I'm 2 minutes away, bud?
Will do. You've got 3 minutes now.
Okay, cool. All right. So a little security. Most people don't allow cell phones on the floor, don't allow them at home, hard to enforce unless you have AI that knows what a cell phone looks like and can notify the supervisor and log it in the reporting. The next thing we're going to see is Samir here. He's going to have somebody walk up behind him. Probably shouldn't be in that room, especially if it's healthcare or financial services. If you look at this little number 1 over here, it's going to change because our AI sees 2 faces in that video and can alert you. And that way you can make sure that room stays safe. And then finally, as we move through here, we're going to see nobody in the video and they're not on lunch or break. So we're just going to let you know, hey, there's nobody in the video when they're not on lunch or break. Might not be a big deal. They might have just forgotten to, or maybe you got a bunch of calls coming in and they decided laundry was a better idea at the moment. Now, we don't put agents on camera and expect them just to sit there and get monitored. We're an engagement platform, 2-way street. So the agents see anybody in the room that's a supervisor or up. And they can make calls or chat either with their supervisors or if you allow other agents in the room, or they can even chat outside of the room. But we have some guardrails unlike Teams and Slack and such like that, so you can control who they can communicate with. And then if anybody else comes into the room, the agents see that person. So they love the transparency that we have. And then finally, in our meeting rooms, you can have as many of these rooms as you want. I'm going to take these agents right here and I'm going to move them from a production room into a meeting room where everybody sees each other and we can have a conversation and understand exactly what's going on. Maybe the client just changed the settlement parameters or the payment plan, or IT's rolling something out. And it allows you to be able to have that discussion with them real quick and then take them and move them back, or they can go to their dashboard and just walk back to their production or nesting room or whatever that might be. Now, I don't have time to show you all of this stuff, but I want to get to the reports. We have, again, we don't have any recording or storage. We're SOC 2 Type 2, SSO and MFA capabilities. reporting on geolocations, all the desktop activity. So any applications they launch and websites they go to, all the timestamps of when they're in rooms and such like that. And I think that was a bleep telling me I'm about done. So a lot more to it. Reach out if you'd like to know more, but I'm happy to answer some questions. Mike, how's it feel, brother?
Thank you, Jason. Excellent job. Appreciate you being here. Again, anybody has a question, drop it in the chat, send it in through the Q&A. Not so much a question, but somebody did post a comment, which I think opens the door for a question. That is, I think this platform would get me in trouble a lot.
Whoa. I wonder if they're a supervisor or an agent.
I think the answer that let's talk about it.
Yeah,
You find that people have that big brother fear?
No. People always, every customer we've ever talked to asks about that. Does this feel like too big brother? And anytime you are trying to supervise anyone, whether it's in the office or remotely, there's a little bit of big brother. Most of the offices, when I've walked in the contact center floors, have cameras all around. They're recording everybody. The agents don't know who's behind those cameras, and they got supervisors all around. So I think a lot of that, our biggest competitor is just perception. People perceive it's big brother, but in reality, most agents are in that 18 to 28-year-old range. They've grown up with cameras. Oldies like you and I, Mike, we didn't have cameras in our face all our lives. So we've got like this big brother thing about cameras. The younger generation, they're so used to them, they don't even notice them. So what our customers, and you can talk to any of our customers you like, will say is within 2 or 3 days, the agents, they don't even notice the cameras until they need the camera to get the help and support that they need.
Fair. So this is AI Demo Day. You've got AI in your name, but talk a little bit about how Collaboration Room, how the platform is really taking advantage of what AI has to offer.
Yeah, so much of AI out there today is about removing the agents from the experience. And and so much of that is just helping the agents, but there's two sides to that coin. There's the supervisors and the agents. And what we're using is object detection AI and emotion notification AI to be able to subsidize the abilities that supervisors had when they were in the office that they lost in remote. So like, for instance, everything I showed you from the AI perspective right there, that's customers coming to us and saying, we lost the ability to understand if the agents were doing well and to be able to support them proactively. So we put in the emotion detection. We had rules on our floor about no cell phones, and we didn't have to worry about random people, roommates, spouses, girlfriends, boyfriends, shoulder surfing and looking at the data that was on our monitors. Can you help us with that? So we're not trying to make supervisors like these AI superheroes. We're just trying to make them supervisors again, because for the last 5 or 6 years, they've been trying to do their job by reports and the occasional Teams meeting. And that lack of visibility, that's where we're bringing the AI in to essentially support them and give them capabilities that they've always had. Mother Nature gave them, but they lost it because of remote.
You mentioned saving 6 lives. I'll give you a chance to maybe expand. We've got a couple of minutes before our next company comes up. I'll give you a couple minutes to maybe expand on that a little bit and talk a little bit about just the power that the platform has had.
Yeah, I've never sold anything that saved a life, ever. But I've been in the collections and contact center space for 20 some years. And so when we get these reports from our customers, and like I said, the 5 or 6 reports we've had so far have only come from 2 of our customers, because not everybody's going to report that to us. I think Tim over at State Collections has had at least 4 of them himself. And these are agents that were at home, working alone, went into a medical emergency. And the only thing that saved them really wasn't our platform, was the visibility that we gave their supervisors. Look, we've all worked in offices before. We've all had people have a medical emergency at the office, and thank goodness there was lots of people around to see it and help them. What happens when that happens at home? And if you don't have this visibility, that can happen. Now, I'm not saying you should buy Collaboration Room just because of that fear, but man, if you bought some technology that actually saved one of your agents' lives in the future, plus gave you all the benefits of production, training, nesting, coaching, supporting, and security and compliance, that's a lot of wins, man. It's a lot of wins.
Excellent. Jason, thanks to you for being here today. And thanks to Collaboration Room for being a big supporter of accounts recovery and everything that you guys have done with AI. Love it. Love everything you're doing. Everybody check them out, CollaborationRoom.ai. Jason, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mike. As always, appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon, my friend.
All right. Sounds good.